I'll push record now, mate, just to
Oh,
cut out.
I just deleted everything.
Did you? What'd you delete?
Not just stuff.
Stuff.
I don't even know. I'm not
tasty.
even. I'm exhausted after smashing my lunch.
Well, I'm just looking at your lunch now, mate. Red Bull, 2 dirty little dogs, smothered in cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, you love a good sausage, don't you?
It's all about the chili sauce, mate. You've got to.
The chili sauce on the hot dogs, yum.
Yeah, you got to have the correct amount of chili, or otherwise it is no good, mate.
No, you might as well put it in the bin, mate.
Yeah, exactly. True story. Yeah.
Look at you, mate. You got the same TV as me, and you got 2 remotes of it.
Yeah, one's a audio remote and one's a for the surround sound or whatever it's called. And the other one is the TV remote.
The one on the right is your TV remote, because that's exactly the same as my TV remote. Samsung.
Watch the flog out. Fucking A.
What are we going to talk about today, then?
No idea, mate. I haven't even... My brain has been ticking over way too much. Thought about 1,000 things. 1,000 things.
Yeah.
But nothing's coming to mind. Trying to manufacture. It's like, how do you manufacture excitement? Woohoo! Yeah, party time. And where's all the sound effects? You know, that big horn.
Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, I was looking into getting like a soundboard so I could go.
Oh, yeah.
Like little fucking segment.
I was going to say, you definitely need crickets.
Yeah. Because no one's listening, mate.
Because for those super funny jokes that you tell all the time.
Oh,
mad crickets.
Such a jokester.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pissing down with rain here again. Just shit.
Well, I can't hear it, so it's not too bad. Sun's out, guns out. I go to the gym, work on the biceps.
And with that, episode 5 has begun. Sun's out, guns are out, mate. How was the gym, mate?
Bloody awesome. Just a regular day at the gym, really.
Yeah.
Did you spent most of the time taking selfies on Snapchat just so the whole world knew I was at the gym, and once I had my allotment of Snapchats and filters, then I think I was done. I don't actually think I touched any weights or equipment at all.
I don't because yesterday you did call me through the start of your workout, mate, and I could hear a little bit of huffing and puffing going on.
No, that's just to look sweaty in the Snapchats.
Oh, okay.
So what you do is you just pump out like 2 minutes of cardio, like real high energy cardio, get the pump, then bang, you are ready. Snapchat, here we come. Do the odd Instagram post.
Shut up, dude. Stop. Don't. Oh, God. So full of crap.
Nah, genuine, mate.
Genuine. Yeah. Well, thanks for calling me all the time when you just, bro, just going down to the gym, bro.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, it is good. No, it's real good.
How's your week been anyway, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Whoa, that's good.
Yeah. Wednesday night was fun. You sort of learn how much you have to improve. But yeah, Fuji has been the arch nemesis of myself and the Lambo. So it was good to get back there and get a bit of practice and see how much we've improved since the last time we were there. I think I found a solid half second, so not too bad.
Yeah, no, driving very well there. I don't really want to talk about Fuji because, well, you know why, but it's looking like a good combo, mate. I was really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it was going to be fun, except you need a steering wheel if you want to drive a car, apparently.
I heard that that was the case. I know there's a lot of controller drivers out there, and not to take anything away from some of those fast drivers like Powell, etc., but I just can't drive with a controller now with the wheel, and
Well, it turns out I could never drive with a controller, so it was fairly lucky we were gifted a wheel. Otherwise, I'd still be grinding away on the weekends on the old controller. I wonder if I'd still even be playing if I was still on a controller. It wasn't really till I got the wheel that I actually wanted to take it even more serious than I was. So
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think for some games, like you need the wheel. But I mean, it's funny because I've been playing I can't really play much, but Project Cars 3 again, and that is a controller game, and we're having fun on that with a controller. But going back to Gran Turismo with a controller after a wheel, it's a tough ask, and I think we're looking at about 5 or 6 seconds off the pace.
yeah,
So why even bother, mate? But yeah,
that's a new
that's
profile. Just call it like CSTVFO controller or something.
yeah, slapper.
Yeah, go see how high you can get. See how many DRs. See if you can get over 15,000. I think I topped out at 14,000 on a controller. So
Yeah, I think I'd probably make 7,000. I reckon. So,
solid mid C grade on the controller. Lovely.
but yeah. So, I mean, that is the news of the week for Mr. Furby. We were pumping out Fuji. I think we were on the pace, about to bust into the 35s, chasing Mr. Lambo there in exile. And we got up early, I think it was Monday morning, and put the old PlayStation on, and the TGT decided not to calibrate at all. It was grinding and shaking. So we went through a lot of steps, and she is broken, and we are just waiting to send that sucker back and figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah. So what wheels are you thinking about? Where are you going to go here?
Well, I mean, I do like the Thrustmaster TGT, but it is looking like there will not be a replacement. There will be a refund, purely because Pagny and Imports haven't had a TGT for a while, and Thrustmaster are very low on stock. And we bought the TGT at a pretty good price of just over $1,000, and I would definitely not pay 1,600 for the wheel, which it is available at some other places for that price. But I think we're kind of leaning towards Fanatec there, mate. You're pretty much your setup after talking to you and a couple of others. It's really got me interested, and for $1,200 straight from Fanatec, you're getting a wheel, the CSL Elite, either the starter kit or the esports F1 wheel, and can get the load cell as well for that price. So I mean, that's a bloody good price.
Yeah, no, it's pretty handy. I always wanted to try the load cell ever since I got like deep in reading Reddit forums and posts of this and posts of that. And they're like, oh, if you can get a brake pedal that feels real, you might be able to turn that into lap time. I've really found it helped a lot actually. And when I first got it, I had my brake pedal set up fairly soft because I was coming from a G29. But as the lap times came down, I felt like I needed more modulation just off like 100% brake. I needed to come back
Yeah.
to like 50% brake with like barely moving my foot. Like the brakes were turning off too quickly. So I run pretty heavy pressures these days. Just gives me a little bit better brake pedal modulation. The other thing I was thinking about was wheel size. Was you were bringing that up during the week?
Yes, I'm a little unsure. I mean, because the TGT is only a 28
Yeah, 28 centimetre versus the 30
and
centimetre.
yours is the 30 centimetre. And the esports F1 wheel is 28. I think just because of the quick release system as well, because I know that your starter one, you still have to screw it in. But I mean, having said that, you don't really sit there and take the wheel on and off while you're racing, do you?
I was going to say I've pulled the steering wheel off. It's not more than twice. I know I've pulled my steering wheel off once, and I think I pulled it off a second time. I can't remember why I pulled it off a second time. But the first time I pulled it off, I was all nervous. I was like, oh. But yeah, like I said, I've pulled it off twice in like 6 to 9 months or however long I've had it.
Yeah.
So yeah, quick release or no quick release. I guess it just depends on how many wheels you're going to run. But
well, that's the other sort of interesting thing with the ecosystem of the Fanatec, and kind of heading, sort of thinking in your path as well. Like, I know it's going to cost me more money, but eventually, because the wife will be listening to this, so don't worry, I'm not spending any more money.
It's not in a DD podium.
What wheel were you looking at? The BMW
GT2 or GT3, the 32 centimeter version.
Yeah.
Because I've just noticed driving the Lambo lately that my small inputs affect the car really quickly. I either need to learn how to slow them down, or I need better turn in, because it feels like I'm barely turning the car in and it's already flicking into oversteer. So either my movements are too sudden, or I don't have enough, angle to play with in the wheel. So I was thinking of experimenting with a bigger wheel if I stay in the Lambo any longer, just to see if it changes it. So like, even in like when you're in the cockpit view in the Lambo, it looks like it's got a tiny little wheel. So I was wondering how the drivers in real life deal, or what steering ratio they have. But yeah, it's bloody food for thought. Like, I was really nervous about going to a 30 centimeter wheel when I came from the G29. That was my biggest fear. I wanted to go to the TGT. I think the only thing that got me over the line was the brake pedal and the brake pedal adjustability on the CSL Elites, how you can move the brake pedals wherever you like.
Commercial break.
I wanted to have my setup
Mr. Lambo, you need to probably backtrack maybe 4 minutes because you dropped out, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm lucky. Oh, no, I've got it all recorded here.
Oh, well, that's all right.
It's on my end,
right.
So, as well.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
Yeah. So, I've lost my train of thought.
You're talking about the Lambo. The last thing I heard was the Lambo wheel size in your in-car view.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's got a really small wheel on the in-car view. But, so I don't know in real life how the drivers cope with that. Yeah. Don't know. All lost, mate. It sounds like you got some editing to do now.
Nah, we don't need to edit, mate. Should be right. Who cares?
No.
It's only me. We're the only ones that listen to this, mate, so it doesn't
definitely
matter. But how are you going in the Lambo anyway? Watching Wednesday night, it was a bit of a handful, and
it's a tough car, that's for sure. I definitely struggle with bagging up the rears all the time. It's really teaching me how to be gentle on the accelerator. Then I find when I drive a different car, if we go to a different track or I'm playing around on dicking around with a different car, I always feel like I'm too slow on the accelerator. It's like, you got to open the accelerator faster. So, because I'm used to just opening it so slowly on the Lambo.
Yeah. No, that would be tough, going to another car and kind of probably hitting those corners, and you're like, oh, I'm going way too slow here in this car.
Yep. Yeah, it is very much a time attack car. You can just feel the weight shift around all the time. It's just so loose. Like, I guess in other games when you select a loose setup, that's exactly what the Lambo is. because all these settings aren't adjustable. It's like, well, if you want to, what would it call? If you want a super understeery stable car, go to something like the Nissan, where it doesn't turn in no matter how much money you give it. And then you go to the Lambo, which is the exact opposite. It will not go in a straight line.
No, you cough and it turns.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I swear I just go to, I'm like, okay, I'm about to turn in. Oh, now I'm catching oversteer. I'm like, when did I turn in? I didn't even get a chance. And yeah, and then consequently that destroys tyres like it's going out of fashion.
Oh, Lambo life, mate. Lambo life.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, we're going out tonight, so I'm probably only going to get another one shot. The difference
that's all you
between
need.
doing a one shot every week and the difference between only being able to do one shot is a completely different mindset. Usually I'm sure I'm only going to have one go, but if I wanted another go, I could probably have one if I wanted to. But tonight it's like, nope, one go.
No, it's definitely one shot, mate.
Yep. When the chicken flag drops, it's all over.
So get that pole position, mate. I'll be watching.
Yeah, in my dreams.
Hey, win it and bin it on the first lap.
Oh,
it's
going to
first corner, mate.
Yeah, get it done.
Just don't break so early this time as you did on Wednesday night.
Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should practice the roll starts.
Yeah, no, you should.
That's
get phone on behind you,
mate. Practicing pole position roll starts is...
well, you want to get on the gas. You want to have the right amount of gas, mate, for that roll start when the 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I'm just talking crap now.
Yeah, no, we all are, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we've covered wheel sizes, pedals. I think I was talking about pedals for a couple of seconds. But, yeah.
Yeah, pedals.
Controller games.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I still haven't got around to buying Project Cars 3. I don't think I have the budget for it yet.
Oh, you don't want to buy it, mate. I'll send it to you. I'll finish it.
When you finish, you just send it over. It looks weird when I'm watching you play it. Like, the sound effects sound really cool and whatnot. I don't know about the graphics though. What do you think about the graphics? They look a little bit weird to me.
Terrible.
Are they?
Terrible graphics. See, the funny thing is, when I sort of watch the stream back just to make sure sound levels are sort of all right, it looks 100 times better than what it is that I'm seeing on my TV, mate.
I noticed that about, because I don't know about you, but I'm always watching stuff on my phone. So you watch it on the phone, like you're playing it in real life. You're like, oh, that looks terrible. Oh, this looks terrible. Yeah, that's shit. Then you watch it back on a phone, and you're like, oh my god, look how good this looks.
Yeah, no, on a phone it looks magical, mate. But it is. I mean, we're playing it because we just play games anyway. But it's got a lot of errors in it, graphical glitches, clipping.
Do you think they take that into account when they're making the graphics in the game? Because it feels like, well, you know how Gran Turismo's had thousands of graphics downgrades. It's like they just keep checking it on the internet. Oh, it still looks okay in a stream. But the punters won't realise.
Yeah, I've still got that theory, mate, that we've spoken about before, that they're dumbing it down so that when GT7 comes out...
Yeah, I think I was having this conversation with another person the other night.
This looks awesome.
We're just going to get exactly Gran Turismo Sport release grade graphics, and we're going to be like, oh my god, this is the greatest. I remember talking about that. I remember when someone was talking about you looked in the side of the car while you were racing and you could see the reflection of your car in the other car. You definitely can't do that anymore.
Oh, yeah, no, you can't. It's... yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've seen it with the decals. We've seen it with trees disappearing, brake markers disappearing,
crowds, shadows, you name it.
I mean, it's even on Fuji. Like, I can hardly see the signs half the time now. Yep. I swear, some of them have disappeared.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And shadow points and
other shiznays.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We're not getting Gran Turismo until 2029 anyway, so...
Yeah.
I think, like I said in Discord, mate, I've pre-ordered a PS5 to play PS4 games. So
2031
yeah,
PS5.
at least we'll
Actually,
be able to play GT Sport in.
yeah, as soon as
little bit.
the PlayStation 6 drops bang, GT7 will drop shortly thereafter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that's what they
100%.
do. They love it. GT6 dropped when the PS4 dropped. So
Good times.
actually, even better, you heard it here first. GT7 is getting dropped at Christmas this year, and it's only on PS4. No
So,
bullshit. Heard it here
so
first. This is
yeah,
crazy.
so look out.
This has just came across my desk.
Have you got a desk, mate? I'm on my recliner, mate. I need to get a desk.
No,
Great info.
of course I don't have a desk.
I'm
I'm
looking
just
forward to
saying that
that.
because people imagine me in an office doing something.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm not.
No, I'm not doing anything, mate.
Yeah, what else is news? Apart
I'm
from
just-
you're a couch potato now. No more Gran Turismo.
I'm
Whose
just
streams
trying-
are you going to be watching tonight? I think there's going to be Nitro. Nitro will pump one out.
Yeah, we always, Nitro, Loopy, yourself. Not sure whether Joe's racing in Assetto. He seems to be enjoying his Quake 3 arena. Come back
Getting
on
back
the PC. Joe's, see ya, buddy.
How big are the
Have a-
lobbies? Is it multiplayer? I couldn't work it out.
Oh, that was just single player campaign, but I do believe it is on multiplayer again. But such a great game.
OMG.
But as for everybody else, yeah, I just watch everybody, mate. You know how it is.
Just get your stalk on.
Get the stalk on, mate, and then go to sleep. But what else is really happening? It's
been a quiet week, really.
It has. Nothing.
It came and go really quickly. It feels like I was here last weekend, and it was like boom, 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 boom. Now it's another weekend. It's boom, 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 and it's like, what have I even done this week? Apart from just grind to the stone.
What have you done, mate? What? I mean, really, what have you done? You've just grinded.
Yeah.
Grinded Lambo action.
Did you even get to have a go at Brands Hatch?
I was in Brands Hatch on
Monday night.
Yeah, so it was Tuesday morning that the wheels stuffed because I was in a couple of your races, which we did all right in the second race, but disconnected in the first one.
Yeah, and I couldn't catch a break, could I?
No, it was a bit of a rough and tumble in there.
Yeah.
Slappers out and about.
So long ago now. So long ago. And then, what about this week's SSRX race 1? Did you ever do a qualifying lap there?
I was going to on just the controller, but I mean, what's the point? Seriously.
You're asking on a controller too. I did a 440.
You would have been a 445 like everybody else. 444.
Yeah, I was 1/10. I think it was 1/10, which is probably equal to like 20 thousandths fastest.
Yeah, everyone's doing a 444, mate.
Yeah, at the 444.5. 454.5.
Nice.
And then, top of the leaderboards, it's a 0.4 low, maybe even a 0.40. And then I was thinking, I should grind out a good time here. And then I just realized I don't do anything. I'm literally sitting there. And then 2 minutes later, you try and do a corner and you watch the delta like move by a couple of thousandths.
Yeah.
And it's like, now I have to wait 5 minutes if I want to have a go at that again. If I want to see if I can improve that.
Yeah, correct my corner line. I do hear that staying up high is the better option for a bit more speed.
Yeah, it was Yeah, you can get a good run out of the corners. It's worth a couple of tenths. I did experiment on my 4th flying lap with a couple of different lines. Didn't really make much difference. You got
You
about
did 4 laps.
the
Oh my
three and a
god.
half tenths. Yeah, I did 4 laps. This is how serious I take my life.
Oh, so that's
And then I realised I'd wasted 20 minutes of my life.
I was just going to say that's, and then
And
let's
then I
just
threw it in the bin. But I did try an alt line, and you got 3 tenths on entry, lost 3 tenths on exit, and I ended up just at 0-0 on the corner exit. And I'm like, well, that was pointless. It doesn't matter what line I use; it's the same amount of time. So I think it's just the amount of millimeters of high you go. And
yeah,
definitely didn't bother with race B. Ferraris at Autopolis, mate.
No, we don't want to go into a Ferrari, mate. You know how we feel about Ferrari.
I didn't mind when it was race A and it was like a 50-second lap or whatever, but driving one of those for 2.5 minutes, mate.
No, I don't.
Ain't got time.
We used to have a little bit of a thing for Ferrari, but we don't set foot in a Ferrari anymore, mate. Purely for the treatment of our good mate Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah. And then race C, I was surprised to see the Lambo make it to the front of the boards. I wish I'd known that Monday night.
Race C, really?
Yeah.
On the brands.
Yeah, the Lambo is the car, mate.
Well, it does handle all right if you can get it wanging.
Yeah, like I had a look in a few region leaderboards, and in Europe and Asia, it was the Lambo was on top. So,
and who was the driver?
I don't recall. In Asia, it was Hammy Chan. I think.
Good old Hammy.
I don't remember who it was in Europa. Yeah.
Had Metal Gear done a time for brands? How did he go?
0.5.
Nice.
So it was about, I think it was 3 tenths off the pace. But I think he only had one session. So
yeah, just quickly got on one-handed.
I was going to say, yeah, probably just kept the eyes closed, did a quick lap.
Not going to bother with this one. No.
Yeah, ain't got time, mate.
Yeah, didn't have my gloves. Didn't have my dish.
It was
didn't have me Ansel dishwashing gloves going. So
couldn't be bothered turning the steering wheel on.
Nah. Why bother?
Ain't got time, mate.
Ain't got time for this shit.
Yeah, no, that was enjoyable. I was so conflicted this week of whether I tried to grind brands and learn a bit more about that because it was in the Lambo, or whether I grind Fuji and learn more about that, or whether I'm thinking that I couldn't race tonight, whether I just have the week off, just have a couple of days on the back burner, get a little bit of rest, a bit of R&R, get refreshed for next week.
Yeah, well, I had no choice, mate, so I was pretty lucky. God, I just sound like a whinging little kid. All I do, mate. My wheel's breaking.
Yeah, well, I haven't had a chance to practice. I didn't do any Fuji practice on Friday.
You don't need it, mate. Just
haven't
get
done
in
any
there.
Fuji practice today, so
get it done, mate.
I was thinking I might have to do a couple of laps after this podcast, get me back up to speed.
Although the word is now that it is a 3-stopper, so
yeah, the old 3-stop.
So get in and get out, mate. Get it done.
Yeah, I'm going to struggle keeping the tyres alive for 7 laps if I up the pace, but I guess I could try and save a little bit of fuel.
You'll be right, mate.
Yeah.
You will be right. Devs will be right behind you in the mighty vet.
Are we at the similar DR? Are we going to be in the same race?
I think Devs is still a little bit higher. Hopefully he goes in the first race and you might get matched with him, but he's looking pretty good in the vet. The vet was looking good on that track.
I was going to say the vet does look pretty handy around here. The vet and the Viper. Vet, Viper and Lambo. Pretty sure are the cars to be in.
Yeah, no, they're definitely on the pace.
Pal's killing it in the Vantage too.
Yeah, that's something that I was looking at maybe next season.
Yeah, running a Vantage.
Yeah, just still going through the list where
yeah, tick off all the manufacturers you haven't ticked yet.
Tick them, but we are still sort of maybe itching to get back into the Rexy and
cut a couple of laps.
And
throw a few hot ones in there.
Get back in a top split and get Furby out of the woodwork.
Bust him out again.
show a certain someone how to drive a Rexy.
No names.
No names. No, he's a pretty good driver.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
It will be interesting to see if you do come across to the CSL, just to see what progress you make. Like, it took me a couple of weeks to sort of figure the wheel out, and then it's taken a few months to learn the nuances.
Well, I was going to say that because I got my TGT pretty much at the same time you got your Fanatec sent over.
Yep.
And I remember going from the G29 to the Thrustmaster, it was a pretty quick transition for myself, and the times came off pretty quick. And I know that you, for a couple of weeks, did take you a while, but once you got that load cell braking sort of wanging, you definitely found extra hundredths and tenths,
Yeah,
for sure. So I think I really am interested in the load cell, and it's kind of a no-brainer with the price.
Yep.
To be able to get a load cell and a good wheel, compared to the Thrustmaster, which is a good wheel, but then you got to pay another $500 for their load cell unit.
Really, 500 smackaroonies.
You look like 469 or something.
That is outrageous.
It is outrageous. I mean, you get the load cell set up for the Fanatec for just around $200.
Yeah, crazy. I guess that's the benefit of buying a single pedal rather than buying a complete pedal. I really do like the way that the CSL Elite pedals are set up. Such a good idea of having adjustable pedals.
Oh, you just buy like 5 brake pedals, mate. 5 load cells.
That'd be funny. Oh yeah, and I do use my clutch as my accelerator too, because the spring is heavier. So
you swapped it.
Yep.
Swapped it around.
Yeah, the accelerator is in a box in the middle of nowhere. The clutch is my accelerator on the right-hand side of the pedals, and my brake is on the left-hand side of the pedals. And then I've got my legs set at even spacing so that I'm loaded in the chair evenly. So sort of like sitting in a go-kart or an open wheeler.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, no third pedal, mate. Just a 2-pedal. I'm a bloody auto driver, mate. Paddle shifts for life.
Yeah, that's what you need. It's all you need, mate. So what else has been happening?
Nothing really. It's been a quiet week, mate. We've had guests and it's been blowing my mind. It's been like boom, 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 energy, 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 energy.
And now it's just us two again.
Yeah, it's just
let down.
It's like just try to remember what we talked about and how we used to interact. It's confusing. It might take a week or two to get back in the groove.
Oh yeah, we just talk crap anyway, mate. So
yeah, that's it. Eh?
That's all we do.
It's all about the shiznay.
It's all about the shiznay, mate.
Yeah, can you speak Pig Latin? Pig Latin?
We really going to go down this path?
I don't know. We don't have to do it.
As a child, I did, but
it's a simple yes or no, I think, will suffice.
SCA?
Oh, God. I never got around to learning any of that. What's the other one? Gibberish.
Well, that's what we're speaking now, mate. So
yeah, but...
Oh, no, that's dribble. Sorry.
Almost the same. Gibberish, Pig Latin, and dribble. Can you... what is it? Oh, God. I need to learn English.
Yeah, that's a good start, mate.
If you're into it.
Yeah. Oh, I need a drink, mate. Need a drink. So have you been watching any streams, mate? Who have you been sort of watching?
This week?
Watching lately?
This week I've had no spare time because it's...
Oh, no, you've
working too hard.
What do you mean? You got heaps of spare time.
Where?
Okay, let me just go through my call list and messages that I get from you from Discord. Miss call. Can't be
That'll
working that
be.
hard, mate.
I'll be
Can't be
driving.
working.
I'll be
That's
transporting.
right. Yeah, that's right.
I'll be driving somewhere or doing something that doesn't involve watching. I'll be smashing out podcasts.
Great.
Speed Secrets is the podcast to go to, by the way.
Yes, I've still got to get into that.
Yeah, get it done, mate. So many Speed Secrets in there. Gives you a nice little handy tip at the end of each episode. But prior to that, he talks copious amounts of shit with race car drivers and engineers and all other sorts of people that are just interested in going really fast. So,
Well, that's. I know we've spoken about this before, of course, before this podcast stuff happens. So I might as well ask you now and have a chat about it. Remember we were talking about qualifying, because my qualifying in Gran Turismo has always been a little bit of a letdown. How you actually sort of go about qualifying and how you explained it to me was kind of the opposite of what I was doing. And after sort of listening to your sort of tips on how you sort of go about qualifying, which is finding the maximum from the get go, has really helped me. Like, I'm not kidding you, mate. Like, immensely. To instead of driving, I mean, I guess because my way was, cut a few laps at a good pace, know the track anyway or whatever, and then start trying to find that limit where your way is the total opposite, which I found very, very interesting.
Yeah, so something that bloke loves to talk about is getting up to speed really, really quickly. And one approach he has, and I'd never noticed it before, and now I notice it every time I watch Formula One. He says, go past the limit immediately and then just dial it back. So drive as fast as you can until you make a mistake, and then you know that was too far, and now bring it back one. He says, if you're not making a mistake, or especially one of the really important things is if you're not running off the exit of the road on acceleration, so you pick up the throttle at the apex, if you're not running wide and into the grass, you're not accelerating early enough. You need to be on the juice earlier. And he's like, so as soon as you hit the apex, you should be like wide open throttle, tracking out to the edge of the road. And if you physically can't keep the car on the circuit, then that's the limit. Now dial it back. He's like, if there's room, if you're not running wide, if you're not, the other one is if you're like coming into your brake zone and you turn in, if like the left-hand rear tire, or say if we're doing like for Fuji, for example, if you're coming down to do that right-hander, as you turn in, if the car doesn't lose control as you turn in, then there's still road on the left-hand side. So you've got to keep moving the car over to the left-hand side of the road till the car spins out, then come back a millimeter. And you really need to load up the car on the edge of the track. And one way of doing that is to just pound out 60 laps and slowly, millimeter by millimeter, get the car out to the edge. Or on your first lap, you can go straight down there. Like, that feels like I'm running over the white line. Brake. Does the car step out as the rear axle locks up because it's touched the grass? If it doesn't, you can go wider. If it does, then you know that was too wide. So bring it back in. And that was one thing that really, really helped me. I was, and now I do it regularly. Like, you just jump on a track and probably within 5 laps, you can get reasonably down. I wouldn't say you can get within, you would probably get within 3/10 of what your ultimate fastest lap will be within the few laps.
Definitely, man.
And once you know where all the limits are on certain corners, you can just really start to narrow the zones, if you know what I mean. Like, Yeah, and
Well, that's I mean, because I think I think it was Willow Springs daily race when we kind of chatted about that,
yeah,
and I know that well, the following week for manufacturer was good old Tsukuba, and just practicing through that week, I went in with um, those sort of tips like what you're saying, and I was actually surprised on how quick you can get up to pace doing it that way instead of just cutting, 5 laps of mediocre pace, and then you try and increase your pace. Like I found it very quick to just, like you said, like if you're not bending it on turn one, you're doing something. You're not going fast enough. Like you
yep,
should be
yeah.
smashing
11
it
and 10th.
smashing it into the wall and then going, all right, restart.
Yeah, and it's a luxury that we have as sim racers is the
No, well, that's
ability
it.
to get up to speed really quickly. Like
That's
in the
what you
real
sort of
car,
forget, mate.
if you're Maldonadoing it on the first lap of each practice session, um, yeah, the teams aren't going to be very happy. But for sim racing, it's ideal, and it's not even a case of throwing it in the wall completely. Like I was just watching F1 practice, and I think it was Bottas and Hamilton, because they were shooting out at the front. They were making like these deep braking errors and just overshooting the corner a little bit. And like that's now a reference point. They're like, well, that was too far. And they will just dial it back through the weekend. And even to the point where tomorrow the trackers rub it in more, that they'll try that exact same spot again just to see if the trackers come towards them.
Yeah,
And for like those guys know relatively quickly if they've made a mistake. So as you're learning, like for us, it might have to be obvious as you say, spinning out. But say especially with that Fuji, as I was using as an example, in the Lambo, if I just even touch the ripple strip, the car will oversteer and be uncontrollable on turn in. But I can also feel that ripple strip as I'm coming towards it.
yeah,
And so if I feel my left hand tires touch it, I can immediately correct it and I can still make the corner. Because I know that if I touch the ripple strip, I'm going to have oversteer. So if you're already fixing it, you've made the mistake because you felt the ripple strip, you've corrected the mistake, and I don't spin out down into turn one. I'd probably only lose like 1 or 2 tenths from that error. Whereas if you don't know, you put it in the grass, or if you've never felt it before, then you're facing backwards, sliding into the sandpit. So it really is good in your practice sessions to make sure you've spun out on most of the corners and at least getting fairly loose. The other one is sideways when you're accelerating on your accelerating pedal. Do you have to catch the car coming out of tight corners? Like if you don't have to catch the car, then you're probably not hitting the accelerator quick enough.
yeah. No, it's just a really good, a different way to look at it, and I know it's helped, get my times down even more, 100%. And I mean, anybody listening, I mean, for sure, give it a go. I just think it's quicker on the brain as well to get that muscle memory going, sort of from turn one onwards, instead of maybe just cruising around at a normal pace, and then maybe, all right, cool, I've got turn 8 down pat, and then you cut another lap, and turn 2's looking good now, and I just to me it really felt quicker going bin it on, not bin it, but
Yeah. Make an
push it
error.
on, turn one, get turn one down, and then it's done. Turn two, and then you just keep moving on. Like it's like you said, like three to 5 laps,
Yep.
and you are on to pace, and you can find those tenths even quicker, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. I try not to lap. Well, yeah, we talk about occasionally how time limited I am. So I'm trying to minimize my practice, but maximize my practice sessions. So I don't want to use the time learning how to drive it slowly. Just go straight to 100% and dial it back from there. We'll go straight to 110% and then just pull it back. You know which corners that you overdrive and which corners you can drive a little bit safer, and then try and dial it in. And then also, while we're talking about stuff like that, watching other people, you should spend an equal amount of time hot lapping and watching yourself hot lap so that you can critique what's going on. So 30 minutes, maybe hot lapping, and then another 10 minutes watching how your hot lap went versus how someone in a similar car's hot lap went, and try and see if you can identify the differences. You know, are they using the right gears? Where's the throttle sitting? Like, should it be more open, more closed, more slidey, less slidey? Yeah, can really accelerate the learning process,
man.
Yeah,
I mean, always flick through the top 10. Follow ghosts as well, because sometimes you'll just hook onto some sort of driving line and find that it's sort of suitable to your style, and instantly you found you found some time on a corner. It's
and always being willing to experiment. I ended up running, like, using Fuji as an example. I ran like a 36.0 maybe 4 or 5 times, and each time I had adjusted or changed something, and it didn't make the car faster, but it made it easier to drive and more predictable.
You went 5 to the front, didn't you?
Correct. No, it was just changing lines and changing gears inside the corners and whatnot, like which corner, like which gear to be in the corner, and like where the shift points were. So it didn't really affect the overall lap time, but it really affected how consistent the car was.
Yeah.
So little things like that. It's always, even if you've got something down pat and feeling really good, it's always worth experimenting. Don't stop experimenting.
Tweak away.
Yeah, mate, keep tweaking.
That's the key, mate. And it's in loopy. Everything is not 5 to the rear, mate. Sorry. I mean, even James in Exile will run to the front sometimes, mate. So
yeah,
it's just an ongoing joke, I think. But
it definitely is now.
5 to the front is the correct way.
Yeah, I've ran front 1, 2, and 3 in the Lambo. Generally in the Audi, I'll do front 1 in the Porsche and Audi. Front 2 if it feels a bit better.
Yeah.
It's always worth experimenting. Seeing if you can notice how it changes the car too is always interesting. Like, sometimes I get lost changing it. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not consistent enough yet to know what the change is about to do. And then other times it just unlocks the car. I can't remember what I was doing the other day, but I made a change. I made a brake balance change, and then all of a sudden I got through a couple of corners like heaps quicker. I was like, whoa, like, really? The brake balance changed the balance of the car that much? That was crazy.
It does. With some cars and tracks, it does surprise you sometimes. Because I know with Tsukuba and the Vet, I was running for qualifying like 2 to the front. Yep. And then even just dialing it back to 1 to the front, it was like a massive difference. Like, the turn-in was,
it feels like not only is it a brake balance change, it feels like it's a weight center change. It feels like it's changing where the center of the weight in the car is. Because it doesn't, or I feel it doesn't just affect the braking performance, it affects turn-in performance and like accelerating off the corner performance as well.
Well, yeah, because it's less load. Like, the further you are to the front, like say 5 to the front, all your force is in the front brakes. So that's going to change the load of the car for sure.
Yep,
so
definitely. But I feel like I could feel it on acceleration as well. But I guess it's affecting how much weight transfer you're doing. because you've already transferred more weight to the front, so now you're transferring more weight to the rear or less weight to the rear or whatever it is.
That's just a Lambo, mate. You've always got to be on the accelerator, even when you're braking and turning, to keep the car straight.
Yeah.
It's just we can never give that car a go.
Yeah, no, it's good fun. It's good fun.
Although I'd like to, but
Yeah, it's always worth a shot. What would be an entry level car trying to move towards the Lambo? Probably the Audi. I reckon the Audi gets pretty close to it. Audi R8.
Yeah, I used to think it was the McLaren, but I signed for McLaren for Furby, but even though I'm not racing Furby, I've done a few sort of laps, and the oversteer of that car sort of has dumbed itself down a little bit. Like, it's a pretty solid car. I have more troubles in the Honda GR3.
Actually, yeah.
Like that, I don't know how Phonon's going with it. He seems to be doing pretty well with it, but I remember doing it in a daily in the GR3, and I was 5 to the front, mate, just to keep it stable.
Yep.
And I couldn't
drive
drive
to save your life.
No, I'd turn the wheel half a centimetre and I'd be doing a 360.
Yeah. I reckon that the only reason that I won't never drive an Audi, but just that TT. I just don't want to drive a TT, mate. I would drive. They need to set up the manufacturers so it's just GR3 cars or GR4 cars, and you can choose a different one for each. Have two manufacturer series running concurrently.
Oh, they just need to change the drivetrain.
True.
They do it with the GT3 cars. I mean, because we all know GT3 cars are rear wheel drive.
Yep.
They should just make the GR4s rear wheel drive or not have them in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, because all you really need to do is just make the GT3 car take some horsepower and aero off, and then it's sorted. Just run the same cars.
Yeah, pretty much. But
that's what I would do.
I'm sure the TT will get a BOP eventually, but when it does, I'm sure a lot of those overseas top drivers who love that car will kick up a fuss again, and it'll be back
to OP.
Back to OP.
If only I had some sway.
Oh, we've got heaps. Mate, you've got heaps of sway, mate.
Bloody Brabham, dude. Brabham BT62. Gran Turismo 7. Bring it. I need to have that in the game, and I'll never hop out of it. I'll just drive that forever. I'll be one of these one-car gamers. Just like sit in that car and just grind. Grind.
Well, I've found my car that I want in GT7, and the Pulsar GTIR that was in
Pulsar GTIR, mate. It has to be.
Had just dropped in Forza, so I was like, "What? Get in that?"
Did they just added it? Is it just been added?
I think it was added a couple of months ago. There's a guy that I've been watching on YouTube, POV Motorsports or something.
Yeah,
he does a lot of Forza, just videos of driving around in Forza Horizon, and he'd put it up, and I was like, "What the hell? What's going on?"
Yeah,
and,
crazy.
I got in it and just thought, "God, this is so good!" Like, I love that car.
Yeah, me too. I want one. Give me one tomorrow.
You just can't find them anymore.
No, impossible, mate. I was going to buy one as soon as I came to New Zealand because they've got heaps over here. But even since I've come here, they've gone from like 5 for sale to like 0 for sale every week. Like there used to be at least 3 to 5 for sale all the time over here, and now it's just they're gone.
Yeah, well, I mean that was like what it was like here, because I originally wanted one, but I couldn't afford the $15,000 price tag at the time. So it was, what's another option? The Triple S Pulsar.
True.
And put a turbo in it and put the GTIR bonnet on it.
Yeah.
There you go. I've got a sedan GTIR, same. But then they just disappeared, mate. There's none. I haven't seen any.
They're gone. It's another classic Japanese car by the wayside.
Yep, little little baby Zilla, mate.
Mm.
Absolute animal, those cars.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm thinking of going and getting some practice, mate. So,
Well, I think you should, buddy.
yeah. What about yourself? Oh, I was going to say, what? Yeah, definitely no.
What
I'll
about
put
one
a
of my
stream
drives?
up, mate, and you can watch me practice. Is that almost the same thing?
Oh, I've got to, yeah, I've got to get my cardboard cutout wheel
Yeah.
ready for tonight's racing. See who's streaming.
Glue it on there.
Sit in my little sim and pretend that I'm winning. So
Pretend you're like world famous race car driver.
yeah. So
That is what it
anybody,
is, isn't it? Simulation, mate.
yeah,
Just pretend, bro. Just pretend.
it's all just pretend. We pretend we're awesome, but we're not really.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Rock and roll, bro. Well, you have a good night, mate. Good luck
mate,
tonight.
I will do my best, mate. I will do my best to see sunrise tomorrow.
Oh, it's going to be a long night for you. But yeah, good luck for everybody else racing.
I'm pretty sure Kimi Räikkönen will be at the party I go to. He's a well-known man, so
Oh, he's a party animal,
he
mate.
likes to get around. So
Good stuff. All right, bro.
yeah, too flucking easy.
Catch you later, dude.
Cheers.
Cheers.